Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Jerry's Restaurant, South Mayo Trail. It's the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Coming to you live from Jerry's Restaurant with the National Coach of the Year, Kelly Wells. And Coach, back from a trip to Florida. You come back splitting your games in Florida, 9-5 on the season. Welcome to 2012.
We're excited about the new year, no question about it. And we're very excited on our trip back to step into the bluegrass. It really wasn't any warmer in Florida when we went south, and the hospitality really wasn't any better than it is here. So we were thrilled to death to be back, and certainly looking forward to the new year.
Of course, 2012, you don't get much of a break, right back into Mid-South Conference play. This Thursday night, it's East Kentucky Broadcasting Night at the Expo Center. We're excited about that. A lot of great things going on, but most importantly, back in Mid-South Conference action. These games mean a lot.
They do, and this is really the third part of the season. You kind of have your preseason, then your early season, and now it comes into where it's the main season, so to speak. And this year's kind of screwy schedule-wise. We had some conference games early, which was unique to us, and we didn't handle extremely well. But we're excited about now, and that's what we're trying to focus in on and getting better every day. And the last three practices, 2 out of our last 3 have been very, very good. So we're continuing to grow and continuing to be better as a team. And it doesn't get any easier. There's no nights that we can win a game and not play well from this point on. And I think our guys understand that. I think they're excited about that opportunity too.
Speaking of guys, we've got a couple of guys that will join us tonight as part of the Kelly Wells Show. Also, we talk all things U-Pike basketball. We'll talk about the women's program. Coach Billy Watson is here. Also, we'll hear from one of the U-Pike women tonight as we kick off 2012 with the Kelly Wells Show. You'll be back. We'll talk about Campbellsville, and we'll catch up on the Florida trip as well. It's the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. When we come back, the head coach of the U-Pike women, Bill Watson, after this. Good evening. Welcome back. Jerry's Restaurant, South Mayo Trail, Pikeville. The Kelly Wells Show, where we talk University of Pikeville basketball. We'll be rejoined by the coach, also a couple of players tonight in our Bears Spotlight. Also one of the U-Pike women in the Bears Spotlight. Right now in the hot seat, it's U-Pike women's head coach Billy Watson. And coach, you come in with a 4-11 record, coming off a trip to Vegas, coming off a hard-fought loss to a top 20 team. How were the holidays?
Well, the holidays were good, with the exception of a couple of games we felt like we gave away, and young teams have a tendency to do that. We outplayed Union Kentucky for 36 minutes. We looked up, and all of a sudden we realized that we're playing 6, 7, 8 freshmen and sophomores, and all of a sudden we look up and we're up 8 or 9 with 4 or 5 to go, and that we start panicking. We started playing like we were down 8 or 9 points, but. We're getting better. We're making strides. Unfortunately, in this conference, sometimes making strides, you don't get the results, right. The W. And I felt bad for our kids on Friday. We deserve to win the basketball game. It's not often when I get beat I think we deserve to win. And the better team on Friday didn't win. And I feel bad for our kids because they're putting in such a great effort in practice. And we want to get them wins to reward them for that. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to get over the hump. Our stretches where we play really, really well are getting longer. Our stretches where we play poorly at times are getting shorter. So, we're making strides and we're getting there. It's going to be a while.
We talked with Coach Kelly Wells about long trips, a Florida trip for his team, and how they're used in team building, chemistry building. You're coming off a Vegas trip before the holidays. What did your team gain from that trip?
Well, we use it, threefold actually. We obviously want to get good competition wherever we go. From a team bonding standpoint, we take them to do some different things out there. Actually, in Vegas this year, we took them to see the Blue Man Group, and they really enjoyed that. But we also use it as the University of Pikeville encompasses not just the athlete part, but the student athlete, and some of our kids may not have the opportunity or be afforded the opportunity to see some places that we try to take them.
Sure.
And that's what we use it for. We got off the bus on some of the kids that have never been out and about, we'll say, and their eyes they're like kids at Christmas, to be honest with you, with all the neon lights and stuff out there. But from a bonding standpoint, you're together in a hotel room for 5 or 6 days, or on the bus for traveling back and forth, or on the airplane, or stuck in an airport somewhere, and you can't help but grow closer. And we have kids from different parts of the area, different parts of the country, and it's very, very beneficial in that standpoint.
Back to conference play this Thursday. You have Campbellsville University, 6 o'clock at the Expo, St. Catherine. Then it's Mid-South Conference the rest of the way. You're starting 4 freshmen, very young team. How prepared are they for this stretch run?
Well, I think we have a better idea of conference play after the first 4 games that we played before Christmas. With the rotation that the Mid-South uses, from our standpoint, it can't be a worse scenario, I guess, so to speak, from who you're going to play first. There are 5 teams in the top 22 in the country. We play all 5 of them first 5 games off the bat. But it is what it is. Campbellsville's coming in. They lost 2 this weekend. They're not playing very well. They don't play very well on the road.
Right.
Now we've got to be mentally tough enough to overcome some deficiencies that we have to get them on Thursday. St. Catherine, very, very talented, but they've got off to a rough start in the conference as well. They're 0-3, I believe. So from here on out, like I said, we have it's all Mid-South doubleheaders with the men. We do have 1 non-conference game left, Kentucky Christian on Valentine's Day, February 14th, at the U-Pike Gym. But from here on out, we're definitely concentrating from a conference standpoint.
And going in with some confidence coming off even though it was a loss to Union.
Well, we've had some 2 good practices. You could tell we came in a little bit down on yesterday, but we picked it up. Earlier in the year, I'm not sure we would have been able to do that. So from a mental toughness standpoint, I think we're making some inroads there, and we're just going to continue to get better and keep plugging along and doing what we need to do to get better and see what happens.
Member of the U-Pike women's team, Jennifer Grant, a junior guard, joins us for the Bear Spotlight in just a few moments. Could we have a little preview and talk about Jennifer Grant?
Well, she's an outstanding shooter, very, very smart basketball player, very, very intelligent student athlete. Our kids look to her from a leadership standpoint. With our team, she's an upperclassman anyway, but we have so few juniors and seniors that lay low to Jen for leadership. She's not a point guard. She's a true shooting guard. But she knows how to play the game, and she's going to get a lot of opportunities. Played very well this weekend in Union's Classic. Hit 4 threes against Tennessee Wesleyan. Hit 2 threes against Union. So she's going to get an extended opportunity, and I think she'll do well with that.
More Kelly Wells Show coming up, and you heard it from Coach Bill Watson of the U-Pike women. A sharpshooter coming up next. Jennifer Grant in the Bears Spotlight. It's the Kelly Wells Show presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back in. Jerry's Restaurant, South Mayo Trail. It's the Kelly Wells Show, presented and powered by Appalachian Wireless. Andrew Joyce, joined by now a member of the U-Pike women's team in our Bear Spotlight, a junior guard from Ponce de Leon, Florida, Jennifer Grant. Jennifer, welcome to the Kelly Wells Show.
Nice to be here.
Of course, Billy Watson, we just talked to, of course, the head coach of the U-Pike women. You come off a Vegas trip. You come off a hard-fought loss to a very good Union team. We'll talk basketball in just a moment, but because you are a student athlete, and I understand you had a tremendous first semester this year. What was your grade point average this last semester?
A 4.0.
Yeah, that's getting it done. And that's what we talk about, because yes, you're a student athlete, you're a college athlete, but student comes first. Let's talk about that. What's your major, and what are your academic plans?
A business administration major with emphasis in accounting, management, and sports management. So after here, I plan on getting my master's in sports management and my MBA. And my dream job would be to work in the business department of a sports team and
Very nice.
hopefully work my way up to the CFO or finance director.
All right. So not just an athlete, but you want to be in management someday. Coaching
Yes, sir.
never crossed your mind?
No, I don't think I could handle coaching.
Maybe you want to hire and fire coaches.
Maybe. I don't know.
Billy Watson, would he be high on the list?
He would be.
I would imagine.
Yes.
We give Coach Watson a hard time. We talk about majors and academics because that's an important part of college life. Obviously, you're very academic minded. A 4.0,
Yes, sir.
it doesn't happen by accident.
This semester was my hardest semester I've had, so I was pretty proud when I came out and got a 4.0.
No doubt. Of course, you land at the University of Pikeville, coming from Ponce de Leon, Florida. I love saying it. Let's talk about your basketball background, maybe your high school days, and how you happened to arrive in Pikeville.
Well, I got lucky and I've had a lot of good coaches along the way. At high school, we went to the Final Four 2 years in a row. We were always in the regional finals. I played at Albany State my freshman year. I got a lot of playing time, got my stats up, but academically it wasn't the best school, so I took that and ended up here at, I think, a better academic school.
How do you end up first with the knowledge of even knowing where the University of Pikeville is?
Well, there's a guy, Bill Walters, that has a farm about 10 minutes away from where I live, and he tried to get me to come here my freshman year, and I'd already signed with Albany, so when that fell through, I got a hold of him, and he got me the address and stuff, and I got in touch with Coach Watson.
And he found out you're a sharpshooter and says, we need this lady.
Something like that.
Yeah. Had a big weekend. 4 threes against Tennessee Wesleyan, a couple
Yes, sir.
against Union as well. And Coach Bill Watson described you as a pure shooting guard. Not a point guard, but just a pure shooter.
Definitely not a
where
point
did you
guard.
Where did you find your shooting skills?
My dad taught me. I came home in the 4th grade and said, I want to play college basketball. And I was short and slow, so my dad said, you better learn how to shoot. That's your only hope. So my dad taught me how to shoot.
Spent a lot of time with that. How
Yes,
long
sir.
has it been? Were you one of those kids that was in elementary school or middle school and you were a shooter from those days?
I would say I had the form, but I didn't have the strength to hold it up. It was one of those, I didn't get many shots off because I couldn't hold it up from the 3, and I wasn't going to blow by anybody to get any closer. So it took a while.
There you go. Jennifer Grant, our guest, a junior guard with the University of Pikeville Women. Mid-South Conference action back at it Thursday at the Expo Center. Before we even talk about that or some upcoming goals, the Expo Center, now the home of the UPike women. Your locker room's complete for the most part now.
Yes, sir.
How are the new digs?
I'm pretty excited about it. We didn't have a locker room last year. We've got one now. It's nice. It's pretty much like the guys' locker room. So I'm excited about it.
First class.
Yes.
Second half of the season, you start with Campbellsville on Thursday. What are some of the goals for the UPike women the second half of the season?
We've just got to step it up, play better together, and play the whole 40 minutes, not just here and there, and hopefully come out with a win.
There you go. Jennifer Grant, junior guard with the University of Pikeville Women. Thanks for being in the Bears Spotlight tonight.
Thank you.
Jennifer Grant, sharpshooter with UPike Women. When we return, we'll return to UPike men's basketball. We'll have a couple of players in the Bears Spotlight, and we'll be joined by Kenny Rhymes and Chris Watson. UPike basketball, the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back to the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless from Jerry's Restaurant, South Mayo Trail, Pikeville. Every Tuesday evening, we're here talking UPike basketball. Earlier, talked with UPike women's coach Bill Watson, and in the UPike women's Bears Spotlight, Jennifer Grant, doing a nice job. Now we go back to the guys. We talked with Chris Watson, a 6'7" junior transfer out of Florida's Lynn University. spent a freshman season at Florida Atlantic. And Chris, welcome to the Kelly Wells Show.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
We'll talk about your basketball, how you landed at Pikeville in just a moment, but as we always do, student athletes, student comes first.
Yes,
What's
sir.
your major? What's your academic plans?
Business administration. It's with a computer emphasis. I want to do have my own business and computers one day.
Going to be on the software side or the hardware part?
Software. You can do software from anywhere. Hardware, you got to be in one place. Software is definitely where it is.
There you go. Maybe design some computer software games. Maybe you could put together some computer software for Jennifer's management of a sports franchise.
Maybe.
There you go. Maybe some coaching software. You could help out your coach, Bill Watson, with some coaching software. So big plans, Chris Watson. Now, how did you land at Pikeville? From Florida Atlantic, Florida's Lynn University, and you land at Pikeville as a 6'7" junior. Tell us about that trip.
Really, I can really say it's only God. I got a call one day. It was kind of just put it on Coach Brett Rector, because he kind of contacted me out of nowhere, and we started communicating. It was an opportunity that I felt would greatly improve my future, and I'm glad I made the choice, and it's a great institution. I'm glad I'm here. So it really out of nowhere. No other places I've been is really a basketball family, I should say.
And it's like family with the UPike men?
Yeah, and kind of like in the whole community. It's really different than any of the other institutions I've been to. So
you've been accepted here.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you. I
And
appreciate it.
of course, what did you know about the University of Pikeville when Brett Rector contacts you?
I knew that. I got, but that was for me supposed to know. I knew about Coach Kelly Wells and other staff and some of the players that was coming back and some of the players that had just left. Just some of the whole situation about the basketball and the academic part of it. As you said, student comes first. It fell into place as well. My credits added up, and I could still graduate on time. So it was just a good fit overall, and I'm just proud to be here.
A national championship, that meant a lot in the recruiting of Chris Watson?
Actually, not really, because it was in the past. It's just the fact that he led them to that, and this organization did that. So I could probably learn something from them and probably hopefully get back to there with the hard work I'm pretty sure that they put in.
This team returned just one starter from that national championship team. A lot of newcomers. You guys have made it through the first half of the season, now sit 9-5. In Chris Watson's opinion, how has this team come together? How has the Bears gelled this year?
At times I say we gel really good, and at other times we don't gel really good. And I think our record shows that sometimes when we play really good, the results shows in the scorecards. But I guess we're still a new team, and we're still gelling, but there's still no excuses. I feel like the 5 losses that we have, we probably shouldn't have the 5 losses, and that's credit all the guys, the coaches, everybody who's involved. But I'm pretty sure we're learning from our mistakes, and we're going to do some big things if we can come together and work hard as we should.
Back in the Mid-South Conference Thursday night, Campbellsville at the Expo Center. You've had a taste of the Mid-South Conference earlier this season with Georgetown, Shawnee State, with those teams from the Mid-South Conference. Your thoughts on the Mid-South Conference? How tough is it? Is it what you expected it to be?
Great competitors. Like every team's going to give you their best game every night, especially coming off the national title. Every team's going to give you their best every night. I'm pretty sure us in the locker room, we haven't realized that yet. That's why we don't come out as hard as we should every game. But we're going to do the things that we have to. And this conference is a bunch of guys who basically have things to prove, and they want to play ball, and they're basketball lovers. And it's a great conference, and I'm glad I ended up here. It's a lot of good basketball players in this conference.
Goals for Chris Watson and for the Bears team the second half of the season?
My personal goals is really just team oriented. We have to do what we have to do to finish this season off the best way we can, get into the tournament, and then that's where we start new goals. We haven't made those goals yet. Right now, like Coach said, it's the 3rd season, main season. We just have to do what we have to do now, and then later we make more goals. But we have to accomplish the one we have now.
All in?
Yes, sir.
And Chris Watson's all in.
Yes, sir.
We'll look for that the second half. Best of luck
Thank you.
during the second half. And again, on behalf of the Pikeville and University of Pikeville community, welcome to our community.
Thank you.
Chris Watson, he's part of the Kelly Wells Show tonight as we spotlight Bears players. Coming up next, Kenny Rhymes will join us, another Bears men's player. It's the Kelly Wells Show presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back to the Kelly Wells Show. It's presented and powered by Appalachian Wireless. Coach Wells, the NAIA National Coach of the Year, will rejoin us shortly as we talk about the second half of the season and upcoming Mid-South Conference action. Thursday night at the Expo Center, the Bears will host Campbellsville University, the women at 6, the guys at 8. And we continue with the Bears Spotlight, joined now by a 6'4" junior guard out of Panola, Texas Junior College, originally from Chicago, Illinois, Kenny Rhymes. Welcome to the Kelly Wells Show.
How you doing? How you
Doing great. And, of course, we'll talk basketball in a minute. I know that's on your mind.
All right.
But student-athlete, you know the drill. Student comes first.
That's right.
What's your major, Kenny?
Business management.
And what are your plans for the future? What are you going to do with the business management degree?
I want to go into like more of the sports management field, you know, handle something in that department, you know.
Not going to go the coaching route?
Probably not. I see Coach, he kind of stressed out a lot from coaching, so I don't want to be as stressed out as Coach B.
He tells me he's stressed out because of players.
Yeah, we do a lot of that, you know.
You come to Pikeville from Panola, Texas Junior College, originally committed to NCAA Division I Chicago State out of high school. How do you arrive at Pikeville? What started the journey from junior college here?
Well, you know, did good in junior college, played out in Texas, and I got a call from Coach Ty Compton, and he told me about the program. Then I heard from the other coaches from coaching staff, Coach Wells, Coach Brett Rector, and, you know, they kept on telling me good things about the program. Then I heard about the national championship, of course, and, you know, they just kept on at it, and I felt comfortable, you know. I felt like, you know, they weren't lying to me. I felt, you know, real good about it. So I decided to come here, and the decision has been good. You know, I feel comfortable. You know, they're always on me, and that's the good thing. If they always on you, then I know they're trying to get me better. So,
your team coming off a Florida trip after a long break for the Christmas holiday. You traveled to Babson Park, Florida, split a couple of games there. What did that trip do for this team as far as bringing the team together and solidifying it for the second half run?
I think it did us a lot because we know what we need to pick up on, and, you know, I know we had a tough loss the first game, and we could have closed the game out better the second game, but I think we learned from our mistakes, and we just want to come stronger for the 2012 year, you know.
Kenny Rhymes, your minutes, they weren't great the first month of the season.
Yeah.
Your minutes have picked up over the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season, in particular in Florida. What do you attribute that to? Why have your minutes increased?
Well, I mean, Coach told me from the start, like, you know, things are going to get shaky at first, but you got to hang in there. So I just stayed positive, stayed working hard in the gym, putting extra time in the gym, going hard in practice, and, you know, following what Coach tell me and just handling the little details. That's what Coach really gets on us about, handling the little details. And when I handled that, he gave me my opportunity. And, you know, when you get an opportunity, you got to take advantage of it. So that's pretty much what I did.
And you've been able to do that.
Yeah.
Mid-South Conference Thursday, Campbellsville at the Expo Center. You've had a chance to see the Mid-South Conference to some extent. Cumberland's, Georgetown, some of those teams. What are your thoughts on the conference so far?
Conference is very competitive, you know, and if one slip and then we can lose the game. So we really need to bring it like every game and make sure that we come out hard, because if we don't come out hard, that can get us a loss. And this, in the conference play, is very important, and that's what we need to do. We need to come out hard every game.
Take the folks that are tuned in tonight. Take us inside the Bears locker room. When your team talks about goals and goals for the rest of the season and for 2012, what are some of the goals that you guys talk about?
consistency, handling small details, going out playing hard, playing with a chip on our shoulder, bringing energy, and having fun. But most part, we want to do what the guys from last year's team did. We want to win the national championship because it's most of us are a new team, so we don't know that feeling. So we trying to see how that feel. We don't want to live under the last year's team shout out. We want to have something to prove for this year too.
Talking with Kenny Rhymes, a 6'4" junior guard out of Chicago. And Kenny, how realistic is that goal? National tournament for this team?
I think it's very realistic. We just need to come together and come out hard and know that nothing is handed to us and we got to earn it just like the team from last year did. We got to, come out, bring it hard, and do what we need to do.
National tournament run starts Thursday.
Starts Thursday.
Starts this Thursday at the Expo Center. We'll look forward to that. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Pikeville community.
Thank you.
Kenny Rhymes, 6'4" junior guard in the Bears spotlight tonight. When we come back, we'll talk with the NAIA National Coach of the Year, Kelly Wells. The Kelly Wells Show presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back in. The Kelly Wells Show presented by Appalachian Wireless. We come to you from Jerry's Restaurant live every Tuesday evening at 6, and you're invited to join us for the Kelly Wells Show as we kick off 2012. We welcome a new year and a new start for the Bears team. 9-5 coming in. Mid-South Conference action coming up this week. Before we get to Campbellsville, I thought the guys did a great job tonight. Chris Watson and Kenny Rhymes, new additions to the Bears program. We've seen what they can do on the court, but it's always good to be able to meet these guys and see their personality and see that they are just college students, normal guys, tremendous athletes, but just college students, and both did a nice job.
They really are, and Jennifer as well, too. I
Sure.
mean, what a class group of kids we have. And Kenny's right. I am hard on those guys, and I don't apologize for that. But
Right.
at the end of the day, when I go home at night, I know what good guys we have. What kind of character they have, and that always helps me come back the next day and be recharged and ready to go, because sometimes they make mistakes that drive you crazy, but they're all honest mistakes. And you got guys like Chris and Kenny that come out and do the things we ask them to do. Is just it's a breath of fresh air for me as a coach, and obviously we want them to stretch their game and stretch their abilities.
Sure.
And, when they call me 10 years from now, we've said this 1,000 times, that's when I want to enjoy success that we've been able to do with those guys, and hopefully they get a ring and hopefully they win and they do all that. That's great, but the 10 years from now call is one I'm looking forward to.
One of the guys, I can't remember, Kenny maybe, didn't want to go into coaching, said he's seen the stress that you carry around with you. He's seen that in a short amount of time he's been on campus.
Yeah, well, I'd say Kenny's added a few of these gray hairs that I've got going on. I'll start naming them Kenny and Chris and whoever, but they're really tremendous guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of fun with them. I enjoy being around them. There's never a day that I dread going into work. Now, there's days that I dread seeing the same mistakes done over and over
Sure.
again. But it is a stressful job. But at the same time, you have to love what you're doing. You have to enjoy what you're doing. And Kenny doesn't always get to see the times that they put smiles on my face too.
Right.
And maybe I'm obviously not doing a great job of showing them those smiles lately. So I've got to do a better job facilitating that too.
We'll see if we can have Eric and the guys put together a compilation video of just smiles.
Well,
maybe you could show a 3-minute segment.
It would even be better if they would do things that made me smile too.
There you go. We'll try to catch that live Thursday night. Campbellsville back in Mid-South Conference play Thursday night. East Kentucky Broadcasting night. We're proud. Of course, we've got 1,000 terrible towels that will be given out, T-shirts throughout the building, and I don't know. We're giving away tickets. There's a lot of good things going on Thursday night.
We're also drawing for another contestant to win the truck as well.
You better believe it. Another finalist to be drawn for the Kelly Wells Edition truck. So it's going to be a big night. But let's get to basketball. The UPike women, they need to win against Campbellsville at 6. The guys at 8. How important is this game to kick off the second half of the season?
Well, I think mentally for both the men and the women, it's a big game for us. I think we both need to get building confidence and steamrolling ahead. And when you play at home in our conference, you have to win those games. You have to guard your turf. And we haven't started off the way we wanted to in the conference, and they haven't either. And it's important for us to get is to play well and really not try to gauge it off wins and losses as much, because those will take care of themselves. If you play well, you're probably going to have a chance to win. Campbellsville's coming in they're 11-3, the best record Keith's had in his tenure to start a season, and they've got 7 guys that play the majority of their minutes. 5 of those are tremendous players, so it'll be a good task for us, a good challenge. But again, at the same time, if we're ready to play, we compete and we have an opportunity to win that game. And the same thing on Saturday. If we can find a way to win both these games at home on our place, on our turf, it puts us into a tie for third if everything stays equal, and we win that tiebreaker. So we're back in the top 25 over a weekend. But we've got to take care of that. I mean, it's easy to talk about it, but we got to win those games, and you never know what everybody else is going to do. It's kind of like the playoffs now with the NFL. You just got to take care of yourself. That's the most important thing. And other than the Bengals, if you don't take care of yourself, you don't usually advance on. But we need to take care of our game. It's very important.
Of course, an injury in Florida, Chris McHenry, the point guard, goes down, and his status for Thursday and for the weekend matchups.
It's not great. It's probable, but he still hasn't practiced yet as of today. He's got one more day and then game day, and it doesn't look like he'll probably go Thursday unless just some healing power comes over him. He's a tough kid, wants to be out there, but it's a long season too. And with one man down, somebody else has got to step up, and that's the one position we don't have a lot of depth at right now until Chase gets eligible and he's ready to roll. So it's unfortunate, but there's a reason for that. We don't know the whole reason right now, and maybe it's to get Josh some more confidence and build his momentum up, and maybe it's to get our 2s and 3s more action, more time to handle in the basketball. But that will all come out in the wash. We've still got to find a way. The standard's the standard. We're 9-5 and not used to having those 5 losses on our side, but the standard's still going to be the standard. You asked what our goals were. Our goals don't change. We want to be the best we can be, and hopefully at the end of the season that's a national championship. But we're going to play hard every night, and as long as I've got 5 guys to play, we're going to play to win.
Know that. Coming out of the Christmas holiday, the trip to Florida, you split. Obviously, you'd want 2 wins going on a trip like that. You get the additional practice time now with no classes heading up to Campbellsville. What will we see different out of this team than we saw before the Christmas break?
Well, the practice time has been so valuable for us. Actually, the games were not as helpful as the practice sessions have been. We don't have to worry about the time. We don't have to worry about, between their classes, we've got a 2-hour window. We can practice real quick so we can get our guys a night class, or we've got to practice at 10 at night, but over classes. We've had the opportunity to actually be thorough in what we do, and that's the hardest thing, is finding hours together where classes aren't spread out all over the place to get thorough classroom time. That's our classroom. And it's been good for us. It's been very valuable for us. We've been able to add a few offensive wrinkles to what we try to do. We've been able to implement our zones that we want to put in. We try to back off a little bit of the full court pressing because of Chris being down, Chase not being ready. We've got to put more minutes on our guards. Right. So we've tried to switch things up a little bit more half court in that way and keep our intensity still. So we've made some good adjustments. It's hard when you don't have everybody as well. But the practice time has been great. I've loved it. The guys probably, it's been a little bit long for them, and actually heard a couple of them whispering and said, "My legs are tired. I'm tired," and they probably were tired. And again, I heard it and didn't slow me down any at all. We kept going, and the guys will respond. They're doing the right things, and it's just sometimes when you have new faces and new guys, it doesn't always click as early as we would like it to click. I mean, we had an 11-point lead in our first game against Emmanuel, ended up getting beat by 10. We had a 19-point lead against Weber in the second half, ended up winning by 1. Right. We're just not closing those deals out. But to get to an 11-point lead against a great Emmanuel team, the next night ended up beating Evangel, who was ranked in the top 12. What was a good sign, but we didn't close it out. And then Weber International, we're up 19, and we just quit playing. Officiating got turned 100% the other way, and we held on. It wasn't very, very pretty, but within that, we've got that roller coaster play, and we've got to be steady, and that steady's got to be good.
Let's hope that steady is good Thursday. Campbellsville kicking off the 2012 part of the Mid-South Conference season. Coach, 8 o'clock tip-off. Best of luck against Campbellsville and the rest of the way.
Well, no question. I appreciate it, and it's East Kentucky Broadcasting Night, so Keith made me promise that we'd get a win, so we've got to do all we can to dig through that and get ourselves a good victory, and we need everybody's support. The students aren't on campus, and so valuable for us to get our community out and involved, and we'd love to have you. Got comfortable seats, great concessions. Come on out. We'd love to have you.
No doubt about it. The Kelly Wells Show, presented and powered by Appalachian Wireless. Thanks tonight to UPike women's coach Bill Watson, UPike women's player Jennifer Grant, Chris Watson, and Kenny Rhymes. Also guests tonight, the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Join us Thursday at the Expo Center. The women tip off at 6, the guys at 8. And, of course, you can hear it all on Z-Rock 107.5. For Kelly Wells, The Kelly Wells Show, I'm Andrew Joyce. Good evening.